Boy Child Foundation is an organization that deals with upliftment of young boys. When you say young boys, we mean boys in high school and primary school. Doesn't matter with the age. We have decided to prefer or to refer to that class of young boys by where they are in terms of schooling. The minute you start moving with age, you'll find a 25-year-old in high school, which is really happening in this country because they are victim of circumstances as in our life in this country. Therefore, as Boy Child Foundation, what we are doing is we are making different young people conscious about where they come from and where they are going as young boys and as young people of this country. We are also trying to uplift them where we can by taking them to school if possible, especially post-high school. We are also trying to make sure we get them with the right contacts. We are trying to make sure that if you want to open a business, we are there to help you connect with the different organizations in this country. Because part of the reasons we are where we are as a country with this high unemployment, it is because of lack of information. The government here has done a lot. It still has to do a lot. Rod Tshidiso umntwana nje umpili yazi ngisetla la eGauteng wonke umuntu njengawo wonke umuntu sama settlers njengabalungu la eSouth Africa. Intwana Block9 Snake Park eDorongkopo khulele ngayishaya high school yami ngayi afana ayigeleza ngalapha ePretoria sithatha le education yaseBritain ehlek manje la lokwenza izinto ezingenzeka ezingafuneki ngabe sizishayile yabo mara ke yimi ngegawuloyo ngiyintwana ngithi ngizokurepresentela ngitshele ngela ngeBoy Child Foundation foundation esenza sure ukuthi njengoba ama-out intwana encane izivalela ngaphandle zishawe inyawo ubhene esikhothane waya into esitshela ukuthi in the next 10-15 years amele sirule abafazi ayikho into wrong ngale kodwa yazi na ubaba uyohlala kwinhloko mongamnakile asesemncane uzokhulisa ubaba abanjani. Besides that, nathi as ama-out siyazi ama-struggle esibuya kuwo. So it's about time we stand up and we do something for the other boys so that we get to the same level njengabanye abafazi sithuthukise umphakathi si-understandane si-appreciateane kungabe enye 50-50 kodwa nathi sesiweak njengoba abafazi bebangakhona so singasaleli emuva nge-economy zathu kungabi ne-lack effect siqhubeke nathi nje ukuba abantu ama-grand isilingane nabanye abantu ukuthuthuka umphakathi yabo. iBoy Child it's a lifetime idea. I-idea ukuthi umuntu uthe makasuka la ekasabona omunye umhlaba mangisuka la eSoweto ngivanye ePretoria mangibuya ngayi ngama-holiday ngibheke ukuthi yes phela the more kunawo abafazi kweba ama-out the more kasungathi manje sokutshontshwa nempompi bona ukuthi aze at some point ine-organization kungamele icala kodwa officially iBoy Child ibe into effect mama sentanyana sewakhona ukuthi ubhale phansi yonke le Boy Child organization from 2009 officially but otherwise the idea done khona and me sole founder nguye le organization. There's a couple of people it's still even in its founding phase. We're still talking to a couple of people manje ukuthi size ukuthi ubani ufuna ukuba involved but ngisole member yakhona lo as a founding member. Kunabanye abantu aba-interested ofana nawe ekuhambeni nabo baze bajoyine siformalize yonke into beyond ukuthi represente mina kuphela kodwa kunabanye abantu ePretoria ukuthi they are there on the ground abu-Twice abumahezini abusithibo akhona ama-out ukuthi siwabhizi ngama-outdoor campaigns baningasho ukuthi ungena kuma-high school ukushiwo into ongamele ishiwe ema-outini ukuthi nawathuthuka abheke ukuthi as much as education hayi ukuthi manje wonke umuntu amele ahamba esikolweni ayenze accounting omunye amanzi economics omunye avayashaya udoctor kodwa le level of education noma kungazingakanani important ukuthi umuntu akhona ukuthi understand masakashaya business yakhe, masakashaya art yakhe noma kuyini. So i-message nje sifuna ukuphusha ikasi. There's even national development plan that tells us where we should be in the next 20 years. Therefore, as the Boy Child Foundation, we are saying, as a young boy, where do you fit in that plan of this country? Whether or not a certain political organization is going to be ruling, but as a young boy, where are you going to be? So the first step is to say, what are you doing in that day? What are you doing in that week, that month, in that year? When you wake up, what are you doing about yourself and about the circumstances that surround you? So as a Boy Child Foundation, we are saying to you, we are here to assist, convey that message. We are here to uplift you. We are here to give you information that you might need. We are here to even motivate you to think beyond that check that you have lived in all your life, the grants that you have lived on all your life. We are here to assist you think beyond all those things. We are saying to you, how do you uplift? How do we make a place like Soweto, Las Vegas? How do we make a place like East London, Emakaya, East London? How do we make that place the next London? How do we go to Limpopo, Epolokwane, Kosishe? How do we make sure that beyond the tar road, the water, the electricity, you have the industrial environment there to work there? How do we make sure that Gauteng is no longer overpopulated? Now I can go back and work in Limpopo, in those great mountains where people are coming to mine without us benefiting from it. How do we make sure that we don't all want to be entrepreneurs? How do we make sure that we don't all want to be accountants or economists or doctors, but we look at what does this country need? Because we don't want to make or to have a situation where we are overskilled but yet we're still underskilled. As a country, we need to be moving to a section where we say, as a country, we needed this kind of skills we have been able to provide. How much technology do we need in this country? How much farmers, how many farmers do we need in this country? How many young boys want to be farmers in this country? Isn't that a threat to our food security? The mere fact that because when you don't want to be a farmer, because when Ukuleleke floods, all we can think about is being a gangster. We're not saying that's wrong. We are a victim of circumstances. We are a victim of the lack of leadership that we've had in this country. We are a victim of where we come from. We can't obviously undo the discrimination of the past 300 years by a mere simple foundation. But we are saying we are here. We are here to motivate you. We are here to uplift you. We are here to give you information. That's Boy Child Foundation. As Kuluma manje kunentwana esi-adoptile as Boy Child Foundation yakhona la eGas eSnake Park. Intwana kwakuthi ekhule nomzali ayiwani nama-sister about 2. Ama-sister akhona geleze nathi isigela. So lawo ma-sister sabona ukuthi bewane-potential mara ngoba aboCherry bayakhawuthela yabo. Bathi no kunentwana yabo eyiwani esicabanga ukuthi amele ukhuphule umphakathi, ukhuphule ifamily yayo. Already nayo ukuthi vele yazi la eGas kunalento yamabhiya nani yabo. Already ukuthi vele umuntu okhawathe i-system. So sithathe lentwana sayithatha sayifaka esikolweni. Sayifunela ama-NSFAS nani ukuthi ingene ifunde TT tourism adventure abantwana. Iyo ke efunda la every month ama-members we-Boy Child Foundation enza sure ukuthi umadala uyadla, uyagcoka, uyabuya ngayima kufuneka incwadi into zakhe. So yizi izinto ke sifuna ukuzenza ezi-Boy Child Foundation. Asifuni ukuhambisa abantu esikolweni kuphela. Akusi mission yethu ukuthi sikhulume nabanye abantu sithi njengoba kuso wena ufuna ukwenzani ngempilo yakho. Intwana zikhona ukuthi noma esase ku-standard 6 izazi ukuthi ifundelani, uyelani esikoleni. Uyela ukuthi ngoba abafuni ukuthi usale endlini uyiwani, akunanini endlini. Wawungashayi home schoolini. Abantu abangakhona uyafonda. Enye into esifuna ukwenza ukuthi njengoba le country trigage unemployment engaka nayo yonke asifuni abantu babe ama-victim noma circumstances. So siyavaya siye emasigela sifike esigela sibatshele intwana encane ukuthi yazi as much as uphuma kule community yaso sibagaye ama-example ngathi asikafiki kule level ukuthi we can say no we are successful now or not, but at least we are at a level where we are conscious about our own environment and what we can do about it. Therefore we go to the schools and we tell these young boys, we say look, you are in a rural area with no water, with no electricity. Part of the reasons you should be waking up and going to school every day is to say angifuni mina abantwana bami bazosafara kanje. Therefore I should do something about it. And the first phase in doing that is at least get through your high school with no drugs. Ungacheat. Qhubeke njengathi ukuthi after the high school lena ngenza. Siyafika kula yethi nasifika khona ukuthi baba amaphupho akho athi ufuna ukwenza sibheke nawe ukuthi ama-skills wakho throughout high school akubona umuntu interested ngani. If umuntu interested ukuthi udlala i-sport, we are in a phase yokuthi manje siqale sikhulume na different sporting codes, sibuze ukuthi ama-youth development intwana sikhona ukuzifaka informal programs. Ufuna ukudlala ibhola sifake ebholweni udlale kodwa ufunde at the same time. Ufuna ukudlala i-tennis sibuye sipromote nama-sport angekho like us. But one of the main things esifuna ukuzibiza like us ukuthi sifuna abantu baphuphe more than the normal circumstances will allow you. Beyond ukuthi manje ngihlala emkhukhwini ngifuna ukuhlala endlini, sifuna abantu baphuphe ukuthi bashintshe umhlaba i-country yethu kube one of the best in the world. Beyond that sifuna abacabanga ukuthi as Africans what are we doing for Africans. For the mntwana ehlele la eGhana ephethe isibhamu, umntwana ehlele lapha eCote d'Ivoire i-child soldier wemthini ngayo. So sifuna intwana amazi esigela senza noma kuyini empilweni yazo cabangela ukuthi empela manje ngiyele esigela ukuthi ngi-understand into so from lapho ngiyenzani ngayo. Mangenza so iyanginceda lento ukuthi ngibe conscious ngincedela abantu. So those are part of the things that we are doing, and we are hoping obviously to, as much as we Boy Child Foundation, we welcome support from the other gender, because kunabafazi aba-understandayo ukuthi noma ungenzani indoda ukuhlala kwinhloko efamily. We are Africans, we can't change that. We might be equal but we can't be equal in everything. Ubaba sikhetha ubaba banjani for that. Kunentwana ezibhayi in our community ezikhule nama-single parents, including some of us. Kunabantu abakhuleka abanganama-parents at all. Lezo intwana lezo mawuzithatha mazikhula azinamzali kunomama oyi-1 endlini, wena ubheka ingcosi kuphela ezamantombazane. Kwenzakalani ngalezo ntwana? Yizo ngezwana lezi ezishaya inyawo ezicabanga ukuthi ukushaya ilebuli efake yani emakuleni bafika la bathi ikhothani bathenge ikhipha nge-20 rand bashayashayana la estradeni bachitha amatshwala bacabanga ukuthi la iyi-life. Into amele sishintshe leyo. As much as kwenza yonke lento yo-corrupt sonke sibuya la, mara umuntu amele azazi ukuthi yazi mangenza into eso lento inceda kanjani umphakathi. Kula-ke i-Boy Child Foundation ifika khona. Think about where you come from and where you are going, and beyond the country think about the continent. The number of schools that we have informed is influenced by the number of people that are involved in the Boy Child Foundation. Namely, we have influenced simple schools like Soweto, Limpopo. There's a couple of schools that I can't recall their names in Limpopo that we have visited over the past 2 years. There's about 2 schools. There's Pretoria, War School. You see, we don't even target we speak to everyone, whether they bahama ngelen rover or bahama ngecresida or bahama ngemoto or ufunda princess or ufunda kasi, we influence you. So we even influence the former private schools, we influence everyone. So if I was to estimate, because of the lack of resources and movement that we have been faced with, we have influenced about 10 to 15 schools, and we are happy to say as we go forward we are able to influence even first years that we meet in the universities, because we're also targeting those that come to universities and want to drop out, and we're there for them. And we say to you, we have been through this crisis, how do we help you go forward? Not just financially, but we need to conscientize people mentally to be strong about where we come from and where we want to go as a country. no easy car in this country. That's not the kind of environment we want to have. Those are not the kind of fathers as young people we want to see. We don't want to be those kind of fathers where all we'll have to do is to fill in a form, apply for a tender and get money. That's not the kind of community we want to see. All we want to see is young musicians that convey the correct message to the community. Is young doctors that do not fear working in Limpopo, Emakaya without getting rural allowance from the government. Is young economists that are not so obsessed about who Adam Smith, not John Keynes, and all they care about is what are the best solutions for Africa as economists. We don't care about young accountants that all they want to do is to end up working for big firms like KPMG and making sure they live in Sante in Bakala Baseza. Those are not the kind of people we are focusing on. All we are saying is we want young people that are going to be accountants of their own firms and create their own things. We want young people that when they see a car, they want to see a car developed, manufactured, designed in Africa. We want to see young people that when they see people carrying guns, and they should start asking themselves, why do we need to be carrying guns like South Africa? If everything, the policemen don't even carry guns and only the army, and in some countries like Zimbabwe, party mama police. But like us, who by style as an individual who own this power. What the hell? If Obama is such a bad thing, but yet there's no limit to things about what the hell? If one of the biggest countries, like the biggest companies like South Africa, SAB, which has now been sold to the British people and it's now SAB made as listed in London, what the hell? One was booze, Leon Booze. Back then we said about 30 man, but I tax everything. I couldn't go and carry this container, but I'm free. Those are the kind of things, and those are the young people that we want to develop. I was also my question about the environment that they are in. Into celebrate its freedom from being politically oppressed. We want young people that are going to be asking questions about we're economically oppressed. We are also knowledge oppressed because we are being told what to learn and what not to learn. What kind of courses are going to be sponsored and what kind are not going to be sponsored. How many musicians are getting bursaries to go study for free? And how many scientists are? Why? What is the scientist going to help us about more than a musician? We should all be equal. It should all depend on what do you want to do as a person, not what the government wants to create. Why are you creating mathematicians and scientists only? Are those the only people that are going to be farmers? Are they going to be farmers even? Are they going to give us food security? Are they going to make sure that the child who's born at 3 years or 4 years or 5 years is able to write? Are they going to do that? No. We need to have a balanced way of doing things. Yes, as Africa we need scientists, we need mathematicians, we need technologists. But we need people to dream big and beyond. We don't want people to dream all that they want to see is to have a mall in their community. We want people that say, yes, there is a mine in our community. How are we benefiting from it? Yes, there is a farmer in our community. Am I just going to be a farm worker, or should I be getting skills from this person who's doing this so that I can open my own farm? Are we having musicians that all they want to do is to be like other Americans and convey the message that Americans were conveying? No, we don't want those kind of musicians. We want to create musicians that are politically conscious. When last did we have a person who could influence the entire country like Kim Masekela and Mera Makela? Those were some of the people that would mobilize young people and everyone in the community to make sure everyone is conscious. When last did we have a person that could mang a loudspeaker and say something needs to change and have everyone going out of their houses and following that person? Where is the leadership that we need as we speak now? We need to create those kind of leaders in this country. And it is upon us as young people that have at least in their life to go into our communities and say to the young boys, you need to dream big and you need to work hard and you need to stay motivated and think beyond the PlayStation and the Xbox and the BlackBerry and everything else and the Midzit, the BBM and having a girlfriend and using a condom. We don't care about that. We care more about, yes, there is all the circumstances that we are faced in. but can we really create a social environment for Africans and stop living how Britain and Americans want us to live? There's nothing wrong with that, but there is everything wrong with forgetting where you come from and how your forefathers lived, because other people's solutions will never be a solution. You can't have Umazwi or Usmuza or whoever coming to your own family and telling you how you should be treating your wife and how you should be solving your own problems. You, as you are the head of that family, you should be able to solve your own problems. So now, as Africans, our poverty is not going to be solved by American solutions or British solutions. The use of drugs in this country is influenced by the fact that we want to adopt a lifestyle on our part. Suddenly, because Americans say so, Itaha is a drug. It used to be a medicine to some. Suddenly, because Americans say so, they manufacture pills and they sell them to us, they say those are drugs. Suddenly, it is witchcraft to start using umuti or ubaba or kupepanti or pen. Suddenly, imbiza is a drug. Suddenly, all those things are a drug. Did Africa begin with us, those that are now influenced by Britain and US? No. We were there all this time. But now we want to submarine to everything that everyone says, and we're forgetting where we come from and where we should go. Until as Africans and as young boys in this country, we are conscious that we need African solutions for African problems, we will not go anywhere. And until we realize that, yes, ladies were oppressed in the past. Yes, if we sit down and they continue taking them forward, we will also be left behind. Until we realize that and do something about it, I'm telling you that in the next 30-40 years, the time bomb that we are seeing now, where we see a couple of revolts around the country, is going to be a worldwide phenomenon, and criminals are going to make sure they take over from us. Because when you see such things where there's revolt and all these things, all that's happening is that Americans and Britain are trying to plant criminals to take over our country and to recolonize us. We don't want to go back there. We don't want to go back 300 years back. Really. As young boys, you need to be conscious about such things. You need to be conscious on, really, what is this Nyaupe doing for you? What is that cocaine doing for you? What is that injection doing for you? Leyo black label uma uyiphuza maqeda ukuyiphuza ucabangani na lawo ma solutions akhumbula kusasa import child account no edinga nje abantu abacommitted aba few. Every organization mayicala, it's all exciting for everyone, you know. Yonke into mayicala inestyle ngizohlala nje ngibuyela kunto esimple. Even in the country recently 2 years back or 3 years back, we had an organization called Congress of the People. The entire country was excited about it. Everyone was excited. Fama noma kubani, ukuphuma noma kubani, thathwa yonke inyakanyaka yahlanganiswa ivafa la. Ngeke yasisho next. Kodwa njenge-boy child ke sibe nalawo ama-challenges ukuthi because of the message we send out, si attract different characters ukuthi abanye abantu ngeke babe committed njengabantu ukuthi lento ba affect personally. So going forward isidinga abantu ukuthi they are committed to making sure there's boy child upliftment like us, not just emakhaya. Sifuna ukuthi umuntu ole umuntu eBizana suke eBizana uhambe uyele eMesini, all corners zala enzansi kwamele kube nokuthuthuka depending ku environment yakho. So sifuna abantu abacommitted. Beyond that, inyuku is secondary to us. Masithatha le ntwana sivayo sesigele lesingazi nokuthi soyisupporta ngani every month. But ngiyatshela phana le ntwana layilala ingadla ayiye eklasini engana ball pen. So going forward umuntu esizoyifuna obese abantu abacommitted, the rest will follow. If kunabantu abazaziyo ukuthi yazi sifuna ukunceda umphakathi wethu, nathi lento elizosinceda ukuthi intwana lezi zizokala zizosinceda siphume kule poverty esikuyo, siphume kule lack of caring esinayo. For you as an individual to be part of the foundation, we just need to get in touch tonight. As a young boy, wherever you are, all that is needed for you is to get in touch with us. We will communicate now with Tina. So there's nothing that really you need to do for us. thina sowenzela something, masiqeda ukwenzela something, now you're going to do it for someone else. That's the message we're trying to spread. I do something for you, you do something for someone else, we end up doing everything wonke umuntu wenze. Abumekhelwane asabhekani asancedani. Intwana yala ikasi lakho uyayibona is no longer wearing shoes. All you care about is your next 3 cavelas. What about that boy? What about the other person who is school and never came up? I said, obviously, we can't all be saviors and try to save everyone as God. But the little that you can do for the community, yenzela umuntu ungamniki ungamuphi nje kuphela umenzela ukuthi naye kusasa khona ukuzenzela something. There's too much unemployment in our country for us to be sitting around and doing nothing about it. So as I said, all you need to do is to get in touch with us, and from there on we'll tell you how are we going to go into the communities and how are we going to help you as a person when you're motivated. Somehow feel as if he's part of this country or part of the solution. We are here to assist you with that motivation, upliftment, and Tiwa Boychal may bambi the conference, bambi workshop. Njengetama kanxosa ku 5 rand gibe taxi every workshop. Njengetama masifike ku theater ezinxosa kune potential yesoso ku max nani netsifuna ukushaya into so. Cabanga umise sigelo ungawari ngama fees. Kodwa every month sicela nje noma ungalahleli 150. Beyond that, obviously, after nje sekunaleyo foundation egrand sifuna uku-approach ama-corporates akhulu sibatshele ukuthi unento so. At some point, we also want to see take a boy child to work. Ukuthi umuntu afuna abe part of boy child is simple dale. Kunama kungasidala we are setting up a website. Obviously, uhlele kahle udinga le 15 rand ukuthi uvaye. We internet cafe uyenza okay awunayo so shine SMS line SMS okay awunayo SMS line. Asitala we want to partner with different organizations ezifana nabo Love Life nalike asisina something ebizwa ngegap. So funa le desk lethu le lapho uzokhela mawubuye esigela uze lapho uzositshela inkinga zakho njenge out amaphupho wakho sitshele sithipe sitshele ukuthi from laka singamuva sithi. So those are the basic things i-foundation yethu izozenza ezenzayo namanje. Okwamanje we are only available via into ezifana nama-Facebook lana, but for those that are not techno like everyone else or those that can afford that simple BlackBerry, we're saying to them mawufika wherever na ukhona mawulayika uze ukuthi kunento so find out ukuthi labantu physically ngabatholaphi. Yangena kithi uyakokoto yangifuna uzongithola. Uyangena labantu engisebenza nabo uzobathola. Uyafika ku-university so uvayile ngama-open day uzoyithola i-desk open Boy Child Foundation. Masidala wonke nama-university ala South Africa azobashaya i-organization abayibiza ngokuthi Boy Child Foundation. So uma kunama-open day nani uyohlala kune-desk lakhona ukuthi uma ufuna information uzozithola kanje so kwenzele. Ungasithola ku-Facebook usibhukule fike ku-Facebook usithole Boy Child Foundation sithola lapho like page sithola ama-banners wethu. Otherwise unga-add mina ku-Facebook Rod Tshidiso Leshaba ungi-add lapho then we take it from there. Beyond that unga-add abanye abantu unga-add u-Elia Mkhanedi who's aka uTwice ungamthola lapho uthola nomahebzini Happy Shabangu umthola lapho. Otherwise ungasiphelela ngesikhaya wonke amanamba isuka inamba e1 masiphelela ku 82729561 sithola la sireye nawe sichubeke. Or mawufuna beyond that ungazusilandela na ku-Twitter @Boy Child Foundation usithola la. Mina the last thing engifuna ukuyisha is simple. Uhlale ema-rural areas, uhlale eKasi, uhlale eSababa. Mawuvuka unceda kanjani i-account? Unceda kanjani i-continent? Uzibuze leyo mbuzo. You don't have to do it through a Boy Child Foundation, but at least zibuze leyo question. Ngangitshela ukuthi ngokuya esigele unceda omunye umuntu. Uyasinceda nawe ngokwenza ini ungitshele something physical oyenza everyday mawuvuka. Udopa something na estradeni mawubona umuntu alahle abatshela abantu bangalahli izinto estradeni. wenza sure ukuthi music oculayo music oletha positive message la country. Ngiyazitshela le ntwana ezisikhothana ukuthi singayenzi yena, sifocus into positive.